Hey, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Thanks for joining, everyone. We'll give it a couple of minutes and give some people some time to get in here. Thanks for joining, everyone. We still have a couple of minutes. I'm going to go ahead and throw up the Slido. If anyone has any questions, we have a Q&A at the end. Go ahead and scan that QR, and it'll bring you to a place you can ask your questions. Getting reports my volumes, though. Can you hear me better now? Check. 1, 2.
Rebels be bluffing with off-chain flair. One server down, oops, status not there. Witnet delivers with no middle seat. Feeds on chain, receipts complete. Stake your wit, don't trust that script. We slash the weak and reward the equipped. Multi-chain feeds uptime tight. No gods, no keys, just data done right. Audits cost stacks, chains burn through cash. We give you one oracle that's built to last. Plug it once, push it everywhere. Same feed, same rules, no redeploy scare. But 2 is live with blocks every 20. Inflation cut, rewards still plenty. APY is juicy, emissions right. Stakers get paid for keeping feeds alive. Stake your wit, don't trust that script. Slash the weak and reward the equipped. Multi-chain feeds uptime tight. No gods, no keys, just data done right. They flip coins off-chain, then post you the score. We roll it on ledger, can't fake it no more. No lucky admins, no oops delay. It's RNG, the decentralized way. Stake your wit, don't trust that script. We slash the weak and reward the equipped. Multi-chain feeds uptime tight. No gods, no keys, just data done right. On dreams, some stake on hype. A billion links can't make it right. Multi-zigs whisper while we go live. Our feeds don't wait for adults to arrive. Some stake on dreams, some stake on hype. A billion links can't withstand this fire. They talk decentralization in flannel and flare, while 5 devs sign off from a comfy chair. Stake your wit, don't trust that script. We slash the weak and reward the equipped. Multi-chain feeds uptime tight. No gods, no keys, just data done right. They may sell trust, we stake for grit. No admin keys, no backdoor script. The data's there, verified on site. No gods, no keys, just data done right. Stake your wit, don't trust that script. We slash the weak and reward the equipped. Multi-chain feeds uptime tight. No gods, no keys, just data done right. Stake your wit, don't trust that script. We slash the weak and reward the equipped. Multi-chain feeds uptime tight. No gods, no keys, just data done right.
All right, we can go ahead and get started now. Thanks for joining, everyone. Just give me a second here. All right. So the first thing we're gonna go over is the outreach and the conferences we've been to. Adon attended the Web3 Summit. He gave a great talk. The Oracle secure the data. Who secures the Oracle? And as we were waiting for the Web3 Summit to post that video to YouTube, we released an article that goes a little bit more in depth. It has the exact same information and it's worth a read. So medium.com/witnet, and you can read that article. Also, it's been posted recently to the Web3 Foundation YouTube channel. So if you want to watch a replay of that talk live, you can go ahead and go over to YouTube and check that out. Also, we've had quite a few conferences we've been to. One of the things that we've been focused on is partnering with stake as service providers. Once stake delegation goes live, they're very interested in providing support for staking on Witnet and delegation with 2.1. It's very exciting stuff. We're talking to several of them and looking to do some co-marketing and stuff as we get closer to launching Wit 2 and delegation. On the community, we have the Zeely Advocate program that's been going strong. The last season wrapped up, I think, a couple of weeks ago. A lot of submissions, a lot of tweets, a lot of different tasks completed by a bunch of different people. We had over 200 participants. If you go back to Medium, you can find an article on the new season and the new reward structure. It's exactly the same. We're going to reward the top 5. One of the things to note about the new season is it's more developer focused for tinkerers and stuff. So if anyone wants to play around with the Witnet SDK or the Witnet toolkit, you don't have to have any programming knowledge. If you're running a node, you could play around with the toolkit and play around with the SDK, interact with your node and interact with the Witnet public RPC as well. So go ahead and check that out. There's some great tasks in there. There's also some developer focused tasks. Deploy a contract for randomness or consume a price feed on one of the chains that we're on. Write an article on how to do that, kind of like a how to deploy randomness on world chain, how to deploy randomness on base or something like that. So those are some great tasks. Looking forward to seeing what comes out of that. That program is running for a little bit longer, a month in total. So you have plenty of time. You have a few weeks to actually go and do that task and get it done. Yeah, so looking forward to all of your submissions as that comes up. Yeah, on the wrapped WIT, obviously we're making a Ethereum compatible, a superchain compatible wrapped version of WIT, bridgeable to all major L2s, composable with dApps and DeFi protocols. This makes WIT more accessible and more liquid. One of the things to note is that the old community eWIT is wrapping up. I think today is the last day that it's going to be live, so now's the time to burn if you haven't done so already. I'm not sure when he's shutting that down, maybe today or tomorrow. If you don't want to lose funds to the old eWIT, you need to migrate that, burn it back to WIT, and then wait for the wrapped WIT to come out. Some of the progress that's been going on with that, we've had to modify WITNet Rust specifically to accept metadata and transactions, just so we can tie back the address and the different qualifications and the data from the EVM chain. So to burn and mint, it's actually calling WITNet to do a data request to verify some things. So that's very interesting. You can follow the PRs on WITNet Rust or the like to actually see what's going on with that. The migration scripts are ready. They've been tested, ready to go. We've rehearsed deployments and verification on testnets and stuff. One of the things that we really need to focus on now is fully testing the minting and burning, right, which is going to be done on the Witnet testnet, but also on a Sepolia chain or the like, right? So it's pretty much ready. It just needs to be fully tested, and then we can roll that out. Progress on WIT 2 for the delegation. There's a lot of things that have been happening. We fixed the super block voting mechanism. We've back tested the new mechanism against the mainnet data. So we've looked into the history of the chain and seeing if the new validation rules still work or how they work in comparison to how it was before, just to make sure we're actually doing exactly what it should be doing. And everything is coming out good for that. So I think that's ready. We've also added some JSON RPC methods that are specifically required for the wrapped WIT to query different data requests and different transactions in an ethereal way to make sure that we can extract that metadata from transactions and actually do like some minting and burning and stuff like that. A couple of the things that we still need to do, we need to change how the authorization from the node is generated. And that structure and that format needs to be updated to support the different new things for delegation that we're adding. We also need to make changes to transaction types, right, to support that metadata and some other things. So kind of what we're thinking, like it's pretty much ready, but everyone is kind of on holidays in August, and I think we'll be ready for a testnet like the beginning of September. And part of that gives us a couple of weeks to verify a couple of more things and to get together marketing and promotions around that. So when it launches, even the testnet, after the testnet launches, I'm guessing maybe a couple of weeks, but if anything is discovered during that testnet that needs to be fixed, it's going to be a little bit longer. I remember when we first launched the WIT2 testnet, we discovered some different things like with nonces and some other critical things that needed to be fixed before it could go to mainnet. So we're looking for that in just a few weeks here at the beginning of September. Yeah, and some network stats. We can look at this past month of July. We added a couple of new price feeds. Those were primarily on testnet. Also, we've been testing the wrap and unwrap thing on testnet. So, yeah, you can see that we've increased our testnet feeds almost a little bit over double our testnet feeds. The mainnet has stayed fairly steady. And obviously that's dictated by volatility and some other things. As we look in February and March, the market was a little bit more volatile, so price feeds were updating more frequently. Yeah, so we can see in total for the past month, we've had about 29,000 data requests. It's just a little under 1,000 a month. Yeah, now it's time for the Q&A, the feedback. If you have not looked at that Slido yet, go ahead and take a look at that. We're going to go over all of those questions now. So let me pull up the Slido and we can see what your questions are here. All right. So the first question is, when can we expect delegated staking? Yeah, that's an interesting question. Like I mentioned before, we're looking to do a test net the beginning of September, like September 1st. We're going to start the test net. I would, like, optimally, it would run for a couple of weeks. If we discover anything, that would, of course, need to be fixed. If not, then we could launch straight away. Like, so middle of September, maybe a little bit longer, depending if we discover anything, any bugs on the testnet. The next question, is the wrapped WIT version ready? It's pretty much ready. There's a couple of other things that we need to do. We need to fully test it on testnet as well. One of the things that we're planning to do is to release 2.1 for delegation and release the wrapped WIT at the same time. So partly that's because some of the things that we're adding to the WITNet node protocol on WITNet Rust for 2.1 is also including some specific things for the wrapped WIT, right? Like extra things in the JSON RPC, extra fields and transactions and stuff, extracting metadata, that type of thing. So ideally, we'll launch them both at the same time. Yeah, so the testnet would be the 1st of September, and hopefully in a couple of weeks after that, then it could fully launch. Yeah, given that we don't discover any bugs or any critical issues during that testnet phase, yeah, that's what we can expect. Yeah, and the next question, do you have any new partners from the conferences lined up? Yeah, as I mentioned, one of our primary goals for attending those conferences were to secure stake as a service partners. and to where they could offer delegated proof of stake for our community and for the other stakers that might not be able to run a node or something like that, and to plan co-marketing and different things when we eventually launch that. Yeah, so a lot of that has been focused around stake as a service providers. So when we've launched delegated proof of stake with 2.1, that's all ready. They community members don't need to rely on the foundation or another community member to provide like delegated stake, right? So yeah, stake as a service providers is kind of what we were looking at there. Scroll on down here. Okay. Witnet can't compete with sub-second Oracle price feeds like Pith. It is more resilient and decentralized, so could be a better option to quote-unquote secure other real-world assets. Yeah, that's true. We're not really trying to compete with Pith for sub-second Oracle feeds. Yeah, it's kind of like a different model. And something to note is the faster the feed, the more centralized it is, the more trust you put into other people. So it's just a different model. We're not trying to compete with Pith for sub-second Oracle price feeds. Securing real-world assets has always been a possibility for Witnet and something that's interesting. But yeah, that's, I guess, kind of more of a statement than a question. Yeah, we can't compete with them in sub-second, but that's not our goal, right? Okay, the next question. Wrapped wit. More price feeds, delegated staking are relevant in a competitive environment, but nearly everybody does that. Any new killer Witnet use case? Yeah, that's a great question. There's kind of infinite use cases since Witnet is a general purpose oracle. We're looking at some interesting things and trying to come up with some like custom use cases. We can't really say much now, but I'm sure you guys will be pumped about what is coming in the future. Like, what's the plan after WIT 2.1, delegation, the ramped WIT, like what's coming next, right? There's a lot of interesting discussions going on about that. When we have something, you guys will be the first to know for sure. Okay, the next question is delegated staking, any closer to being a reality? Things been such a long wait. How much longer do we need to wait? Yeah, hopefully I answered that question earlier. We're going to want to launch the testnet at the beginning of September. Also, during that testnet, we're going to be testing the wrapped wit, and probably a couple of weeks, if no bugs are found, will be good to move to mainnet for delegation. Okay, the next question is Ha'an no longer part of the team? If true, have we got someone onboarded as a replacement? Could we take this opportunity to move towards a semi-DAO model? Yeah, Hai no longer works for the team. She's still part of the community. She still considers herself an advocate. Like, you'll see her in Telegram, hearting and liking posts and engaging and stuff. But yeah, she no longer works for the team. Have we got someone onboarded as a replacement? No, not currently. I'm not exactly sure what a semi-DAO model is. Like, I know what a DAO model is, right? There's like governance, there's a treasury that people vote on different things. Maybe if whoever wrote that question, if you're reading or if you're listening, go ahead and follow up with another question, maybe explaining what you mean by semi-DAO, because I'm not sure what that opportunity is. Like, we're willing to explore different things. I just, we would need some more information on what you mean by that. Next question. Can we get a rough timeline on the launch of Wrapped Wit? Yeah, that rough timeline. Beginning of September, we're going to be on testnet, and hopefully, middle of September, we can get that launched along with 2.1 for delegation. The next question: can you elaborate on your marketing plans? Can you elaborate a bit on your marketing plans? I think is the question. Sure. So we have the whole month of August here to really nail down and market the 2.1 thing. Also, the wrapped wit. One of the things we're doing is working with other partners, like the stake as a service thing. That's one of the big things that we're going to launch. When you look at stake as a service platforms, it's already kind of industry professionals that already run nodes for other staking platforms. And those are kind of the people we're trying to attract. Also, we have been going through like the documentation sites for all of the chains that we're live on and updating the documentation specifically for those chains to make sure that when developers reach that point when they're in the documentation for a certain chain and hey, what's the oracle look like? What are the oracles? They find Witnet, they find great examples, links back to our documentation on how to implement it in a permissionless way, right? So yeah, the marketing plans right now are to really push delegation and proof of stake and to kind of plan and get all of that ready. So hopefully when 2.1 delegated proof of stake and the wrapped wit launches, that we'll have a couple of weeks, a few strong weeks of strong marketing and cross promotions and cross marketing under our belt there. And maybe that's all the questions. If the person that asked the question about opportunity for semi-DAO, if you could elaborate more on the question, I'll give you a couple of minutes maybe. Maybe give you a minute, see if it pops up. And I'm not seeing that pop up. Let me check if there's any questions in Telegram. Maybe I've... Yeah, delegated staking. That's a fun one. Skating. Um, yeah, I'm not seeing any other questions. Let me check. That yeah, and just to follow up, maybe even if I don't know what or if we don't know what a semi DAO is, like there's no plans on launching a DAO anytime soon, like a full-fledged DAO or a semi DAO that hasn't been part of the discussion. It's not like in the works or anything. All right. Well, if there's no more questions, let me check Slido one more time. Nope, there's nothing. All right. Yeah. Well, thanks, guys, for attending. If you have any questions, always feel free to reach out to us here on X or on our Discord or Twitter. Feel free to reach out to us. We'll be happy to chat with you. All right. Well, thanks everyone for attending. Hope you have a great rest of your week. And if you have some holidays coming up, enjoy those. Yeah, there's a lot of exciting stuff going on. Don gave that talk. So if you want to go and watch that on YouTube, you can do that. You can also read that article. If you want to participate in the current Zeely program, feel free to do that. If you're running a node, it's super simple. You can just do some investigation on what exactly the Witnet SDK is and the toolkit and play around with that if you don't want to do more technical tasks. Also, we gave the update on WIT 2, WIT 2.1 and the ramped version of the token. The timeline is looking like the beginning of September to get that on testnet and to have everything ready by then. And then we'll give it a couple of weeks to see how everything goes, if we discover any critical vulnerabilities or bugs before we move to mainnet. So yeah, that's the call, everyone. Thanks for listening, and have a great day.
Oracles be bluffing with off-chain flair. One server down, oops, status not there. Witnet delivers with no middle seat. Feeds on chain, receipts complete. Stake your wit, don't trust that script. We slash the weak and reward the equipped. Multi-chain feeds uptime tight. No gods, no keys, just data done right. Audits cost stacks, chains burn through cash. We give you one oracle that's built to last. Plug it once, push it everywhere. Same feed, same rules, no redeploy scare. With 2 is live with blocks every 20. Inflation cut, rewards still plenty. APY is juicy, emissions right. Stakers get paid for keeping feeds alive. Stake your wit, don't trust that script. Slash the weak and reward the equipped. Multi-chain feeds uptime tight. No gods, no keys, just data done right. They flip coins off chain, then post you the score. We roll it on ledger, can't fake it no more. No lucky admins, no oops delay. It's RNG, the decentralized way. Stake your wit, don't trust that script. We slash the weak and reward the equipped. Multi-chain feeds uptime tight. No gods, no keys, just data done right. On dreams, some stake on hype. A billion links can't make it right. Multi-zigs whisper while we go live. Our feeds don't wait for adults to arrive. Some stake on dreams, some stake on hype. A billion links can't withstand this fire. They talk decentralization and flannel and flare, while 5 devs sign off from a comfy chair. Stake your wit, don't trust that script. We slash the weak and reward the equipped. Multi-chain feeds uptime tight. No gods, no keys, just data done right. They may sell trust, we stake for grit. No admin keys, no backdoor script. The data's there, verified on site. No gods, no keys, just data done right. Stake your wit, don't trust that script. We slash the weak and reward the equipped. Multi-chain feeds uptime tight. No gods, no keys, just data done right. Stake your wit, don't trust that script. We slash the weak and reward the equipped. Multi-chain feeds uptime tight. No gods, no keys, just data